and welcome back to another episode of Remembering Forgotten Memories. Usually, these things are typically funsies times and such. This one, as you can surmise from the title, not so much. Yeah, this is a story about lying and backstabbing and deceit and more lying and mental abuse and just... It was not a good time. It was not a good time. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the term catfished, which I figure most of you know because of the TV show exactly what catfishing is, to be catfished. I don't know if it translates over into real life as well, per se, with dating, but at least with online dating, it generally means that the person you're online dating is posing as someone or something that they're not in real life, usually regarding their physical appearance, but it could be anything, I suppose, but usually it has to do with their physical appearance. Sometimes they can totally be lying about their gender and everything about their identity, but usually a lot of times it's the appearance thing. So for me to tell this story, two things. One, I have to backpedal a bit to the ex before the catfisher, otherwise it'll make no sense how I got into this situation in the first place and why it was so jacked up and why it was kind of almost karmic retribution, honestly. And two, I'm not using these two girls' real names. I'm making up names that start with the same first initial as each of these girls, so I can hopefully keep them straight in my own head as I'm saying them and not screw up and say their real names, and also ending with the same sound and or letter as their names, but are not the actual names themselves. So those of you who've been friends with me a long time probably will be able to figure out exactly who I'm talking about a mile away, although you don't need this video to know how this went down if you knew me at the time, because trust me, everyone heard about it at the time. But since the catfisher specifically, both of her parents are lawyers, and she now works for NBC. I'd rather not get sued for posting this, so I'm not using her real name. Just saying. Anyway, so, the ex before the catfisher, we're gonna call her Jamie. And Jamie was one of my first ever girlfriends I ever had. Granted, it was an online relationship, but I didn't care. I knew her from different fandoms. We seemed to have everything in common. And the saddest part is that it was possibly the only girlfriend I ever had who didn't mentally abuse the crap out of me and emotionally manipulate me. And yet, I threw it away because I caught feelings so intensely that I didn't know how to deal with that, and at that young of an age, it freaked me the hell out, and I didn't know what to do about it, and I didn't know how to cope with these feelings of being so intense. I'd had a couple of girlfriends before her, but I don't think I'd ever fallen quite so head over heels for somebody before and been so infatuated. I realized that love and infatuation are not mutually exclusive to one another. They are technically two different things, but you can feel them at the same time, and I fully believe I felt both at the same time with this girl. And it pains me to say that this is how I dumped her. Again, reminding you that this was an online relationship, I may have faked my own death. Because I didn't have it in me to just bail on the relationship like a normal person. Again, in hindsight, it sounds so weird. Why would you want to break up just because you're that in love with the other person? But I guess I had been through so much shit with the previous girlfriends to where having something genuine and pure apparently freaked me out. And to this day, it was possibly one of the only healthy relationships I've ever been in, and I threw it away like an idiot. Yeah, you have no idea how much I am still butthurt over that, but I have no one to blame but myself. God, but doing it through that method, not even doing it well, by the way, but bearing in mind, knowing her from fandoms meant that, oh shit, now I have to go underground. Now I have to no longer interact with any of these friends ever again, unless I assume an entirely new identity and just start over. Yeah, that lasted all of like 6 months before I got caught, and I just spilled my guts and owned up because at that age, A, I didn't know I had Asperger's yet, and B, I didn't know that my weird lying streak that I had as a teenager was directly involved with Asperger's. Basically, as soon as I learned that that was the root cause of it, I was able to get a grip on that and never have a problem with it again, but at that age, I had no clue. I didn't know why I did these things, but I did these stupid things. So, this is why the Catfisher still to this day kind of feels like karmic retribution for lying about something that big that she'd lie about something this big. So, like 6 months down the line, like I said, I got caught as still being alive and kicking, and owned up to it. And someone was like, dude, do you know how fucked up Jamie is and has been ever since you or your dad told her that you died? You better fucking apologize to her. Alright, fine. Fine. I have to make things right. So I go apologize to her, and understandably, she's livid, which, I mean, yeah, anyone in their right fucking mind would be over such a stunt as that, especially for that reasoning. But in my skewed little brain, I somehow thought that, well, now that I've owned up to this stupid thing and that was why I ran off, can we get back together? Because apparently I'm fucking insane. And she's like, I have a better idea. No, by the way, I'm dating someone else now. Oh, what? Bitch say what? No, that was not the answer I was looking for. So I basically harangued her about this until I found out who this was. And we are going to call her Vanessa, for who she is now dating. And everything about this bitch I just hated. Oh my god. Every last fiber of my being, I fucking hated Vanessa. Wanted to end her, and it was likewise. It was mutually likewise. She also wanted to end me for suddenly not only hurting this poor girl, but then waltzing back in and expecting to just pick right back up where I left off. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. Again, in hindsight, I 100% agree. That is all on me. That was fucked. I was still a younger teenager at that point, too, if that makes any difference to you guys. But anywho, yeah, it was like this whole horrible thing. And not only did we hate each other, but this bitch had ingrained herself in, like, all my damn fandoms in those, like, 6 months where I had just, like, gone underground and tried to, like, hide out and just not go in them and pick up new interests to go play with instead in the meantime and hope that none of these same people from over here are also over here, which is exactly how I got caught. But anyway, so, yeah, she was in, like, all of them. Fucking all of them. So I couldn't avoid her. And anywhere she would post, it just was automatically catty bitchy between she and I immediately. And she knew that I was still doing everything in my damn power to win Jamie back. And she hated me for it. And I kind of don't blame her for it. So she would go into overdrive, trying to prove how much better she was than me and how much of a shitheel I am and this, that, and the other. And then Jamie pulled a fast one on both of us that nobody saw coming. She converted to Mormonism and decided, oh, well, I can't date girls anymore because I'm a Mormon now, so peace out. And she was gone. And that was that. I was like, the fuck just happened? So now Vanessa and I are both left in this, like, Mexican standoff in these fandoms with each other of just, I'm pissed off, and you're pissed off. Fuck, we have the same thing to be pissed off over. well, we may as well vent to each other and be pissed off together. And then somewhere in there, we get this harebrained scheme, the ultimate revenge for this, because apparently, as a teenager, in our stupid little brains, we decided that this was revenge-worthy. The ultimate revenge would be if we just dated each other. Yeah, again, I see the flawed logic in hindsight, but at the time it seemed like solid logic, even though we absolutely hated each other. We're just like, yeah, but it'll just be for show. We won't, like, actually, but I mean, we'll just, you know, tell everybody that, and, like, act like it. Should have been my big red flag right there. Should have been. Wasn't, but should have been. And I signed on to this. I don't know why, but it seemed like a solid plan. That we would just make her so jealous that she would, you know, bail on her Mormonism and come running back to one of us. Didn't even care who, just as long as she came back to one of us. But yeah, it's so stupid. Teenager drama is so fucking stupid. But anyway, so behind the scenes, of course, we're still hating the crap out of each other, yet I try to extend the olive branch and be less hateful and be like, you know, maybe we could at least just be civil to each other. Would that be terrible? I mean, we apparently can't avoid each other anywhere we go online, so could we at least just call a truce? So fine, we called a truce. And we tried to just play nice and be civil with one another. And we eventually got to where we might even be able to consider each other friendly towards one another. At least lukewarmly so. And then it eventually became actual friendly. And then my stupid ass cut feelings for the person who still, no doubt, secretly hated my guts, but was trying to be the bigger person here. Yeah. Yeah. So this was still back in the days of dial-up and instant messengers and before, like, any of the big social media sites had really started up yet, okay? So the only way you really knew how somebody looked was, you know, they have like a LiveJournal blog somewhere or a Zanga account and they happen to post a picture of themselves. Lord knows I'm a little attention whore, I had those all over the place. She did not, so morbid curiosity eventually, you know, just, I'm curious. I mean, especially since, you know, we're claiming to be dating all. Can I at least see what you look like? So she sends me this picture, and I assume it's of her because why would it not be, right? I mean, she claims it's of her. And she's cute in the very girl next door kind of way. She's not hot or anything, just, you know, cute, which, you know, pretty much anyone I ever dated kind of falls into that category. Except, perhaps, Jamie, who is actually drop-dead fucking pretty, and to this day, I think is probably the prettiest person I ever dated. But that is neither here nor there. But regardless, so I'm just like, okay, I could get into that probably, maybe. I mean, I didn't say that, I'm thinking this in my head, right? So I, like, save this picture like a total fucking creeper, but that was normal in those days because you will never see this photo again if you don't. So, alright, fine. And I really didn't think anything of it. And there was, like, maybe one or two others she periodically sent from time to time. I mean, not anything, like, dirty. They were just regular selfie-esque pictures. Like, late 90s, early 2000s-esque pictures. Really didn't think a thing of it. And then MySpace happened. Yeah. So Vanessa starts a MySpace account and tells me I should make one too. So I do. I look at her profile and I mean, I know it's been a while since she sent a photo, but that, I mean, it was Halloween time, and she was in a Halloween costume, or so she claimed. It was hard to tell, but I was just like, It could be me, but that is not... I'm pretty sure this isn't the same person, unless you gained like 50 or more pounds since those other pictures. Of course, I wasn't saying it, I was internalizing this. But my best friend at the time, I did mention it to her, and she was just like, yeah, I saw that too. She claims she's supposed to be Twiggy for Halloween. My bitchy ass is like, yeah, maybe she friggin' ate Twiggy. Like, what the hell? I just... How do you go from this to that? I don't understand. She's like, yeah, I don't get it either. It doesn't look like the same person. And, like, we jokingly kept saying that, yeah, it's probably not even, like, the same person, but, like, we legit were just kidding at this point. We didn't think there was actually anything to it. So time goes by, and she just is super, super evasive regarding to actually posting anything of herself. Yet I'm over here, posting pictures all the damn time of myself, and I'm just like, I don't get it. Everyone else posts selfies all the time. Why does she literally never post them? Come to think of it, she claims she has siblings. How come she has never sent a picture of her siblings? So I even asked her one time about this. And she was just like, because you'd probably be one of those creepers who thinks my brother's hot or something, so I'm not gonna send any of those. Yeah, no, he is super average. I have since found out what he looks like. But anyway, so time keeps going by. We're still going on with this stupid thing. I think just out of spite at this point. I mean, other than my stupidly catching feelings, I don't think she ever did in return. Frankly, I probably should have just cut my losses. But no! We dragged this shit out for 4.5 years of hate dating. Just, I can't even. And in that time, she posted almost no photos of herself. But the couple times she did, it was just like, okay, for real, that does not look like the same person from the other pictures. And then the bombshell hits. Facebook starts. I didn't go to college, and when Facebook started, you had to have a college email address to have a Facebook. But my best friend did, and Vanessa did. So she added Vanessa on Facebook. And she found out some interesting stuff that she enlightened me to. All the times that Vanessa would claim that her computer just magically, mysteriously broke, and it took a month and a half to get it fixed, and her phone also broke at the same time, and just incommunicado for a month and a half. I don't know, shit happens. And then, like, the next month, it would happen again. And just, this shit would go on and on. Like, it was really clear she wanted me to go away. And I think it was because she was catfishing me and didn't want to be caught. She just wanted to ride off into the sunset and just have nothing to do with me. No drama, just to be done. Which probably would have been better for all involved. But no, and the longer I stuck around, the more fucked up she would act towards me, and because I'm me, I would sit there and take it because, I don't know why, Stockholm Syndrome. But bombshell that my best friend found. She's like, yeah, so I was going through her friends list. I found her sister's account on there, and guess what? You know that first picture Vanessa ever sent you that she said was her? That's her fucking sister. And she linked me to it. She, like, screen capped it because I didn't have a Facebook, so the link didn't work, but she screen capped it. I was like, that is literally the same exact photo. Holy crap. This is why they don't look like the same person, because it's not the same fucking person. Her sister was the cute one, whereas Vanessa looked like a foot. Like, holy crap. Wow, okay. So suddenly things made so much more sense. When you get that gut feeling or like the prickly little hairs at the back of your neck about someone online like that, trust your gut instincts because they're usually right, apparently. Even if you think it's a joke at first, apparently, usually that shit's right. As I found out a few times over, but this was the worst one just because of how many years got dumped into it just for spite. But, it was so stupid. But yeah, finding that out. And then I called her out on it, and she denied it. She denied it to the hilt. She claimed that those screenshots were photoshopped. For what possible purpose would somebody photoshop that? Like, just... I don't really understand. But even, like, just viewing the profile page itself, all that I could view as a non-member, it was very clearly this girl. The one that, you know, Vanessa had originally masqueraded as. Yeah, this was that girl. So, any sane person would have just up and bailed at this point. I did not. I wanted to grill the issue until I could get her to own up to it. Then I would bail. But she wouldn't fucking own up to it. It made me crazy that she wouldn't just tell the truth. Because, I mean, hell, when I got caught, I just spilled my guts. Like, anytime I got caught in one of my stupid teenager stories, I would generally own up to it. If not immediately, it was usually fairly short after, I would own up to it. But this chick, no, she wanted to own this lie, and she was just running with it and insisting that I didn't know what I was talking about, and that my best friend must not be a very good friend if she's trying to sabotage her like this, and blah 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 blah. The whole 9 yards, totally gaslighting me, went right along with all the other emotional and mental abuse she was doing to me. But the kicker, I didn't even know what Stockholm Syndrome was yet at that point. She later claimed I gave her Stockholm Syndrome. At one point, she took like a semester off of college, claiming that she had a nervous breakdown because I gave her Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah, except for the fact that I heard from other people directly involved with her that, bitch, no. Her parents found out that she joined a sorority and was partying too hard all the time. Her grades were slipping, so they revoked their funding for her to go to school, so she had to fucking come home and dry out. Yeah, that. But, I mean, she couldn't just tell me that. Just saying. But eventually, after about the 6th, 7th, 8th time of her claiming that her computer just mysteriously broke again at the same time as her cell phone, magically, once again, freak factors, acts of God, you name it, and it always took like a month and a half to fix, mind you, every time. And even if I sent snail mail, it would just go ignored. Eventually, she finally got tired of this game and was just done and was like, alright, you know what? Yeah, I lied. That's my sister. I don't give a fuck. You can tell whoever you want. I don't care. And I lied about this thing and that thing. And she like gave me this long ass email with like the most half-assed I'm sorry at the end of it. It's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. And you wasted my time and dicked with my head for 4.5 years. But then I thought about it and was like, yeah, but how did I get involved with her in the first place? Oh, yeah. That. Karma's a bitch. So, not only is karma a bitch, but whatever you put out into the universe, good or bad, will come back to you tenfold. I'm pretty sure Vanessa was the tenfold of how I got out of things with Jamie. Pretty sure. But yeah, just ever since that, I have been so leery of people that I suspect even might be catfishers, even if they don't have that great of reasoning of why I think they might be, just the weird gut feeling. And I found out a few times that, yeah, I've been catfished a few times. Not always for just strictly online relationships like that, but sometimes with ones where it's a local person that, you know, might have turned into a thing. But then I found out about that and then, oh, never mind. I'm not interested anymore. Because she was the only one I got catfished by that I didn't immediately jump ship on. I really wish I had, but I didn't. And then finding out that she was largely only sticking around that long because she knew whose website I was building at that time. She knew that I was working for Townsend, and she was a fan, so she was basically just hanging around like a lost puppy dog in hopes that I would somehow be the catalyst to her talking to him. So basically, when she finally figured out that this is not going to be a thing that will be happening, yeah, she was done. Because around the time that she jumped ship was, oh yeah, right around the time that I quit. Yeah, that. Didn't see it at the time, but again, hindsight's 2020. I literally did not see it at the time, though, as being directly correlated to it, and now I'm like, oh my god, I'm a freaking idiot. I'm an idiot. I mean, hell, given how I got into shit with her, given that she catfished me and I proved she was catfishing me, I should have just claimed earlier on, even upon suspecting she was using me to get to Pete. Probably just should have lied and claimed that I quit earlier than I actually did to have, lost her ass sooner, but didn't think of that. I don't know why. And honestly, yeah, I should have just walked away a lot sooner than I did. And I really can't answer why I didn't, other than frickin' Stockholm Syndrome. Other than that, I got nothing. I don't know why, other than young and stupid, didn't totally know better, really wasn't emotionally or mentally equipped to be dealing with this shit. But I learned a lot of shit from dealing with her that I will never put up with again. So, I mean, if there's a silver lining, there's that, but oh, she was horrible. But, for the record, that same best friend and I, occasionally, every once in a blue moon, like every couple of years or so, we take a peek at her Facebook profile picture. It's just like, oh shit, she got even fatter and uglier. It's like all the evil in her body boiled to the surface, and now it's there for all to see that she's just as hideous outwardly as she is as a person. Just saying. None of my business, but just saying. It's just one of those things where it's like, it's totally petty. It's totally bitchy, but on some level, it feels like the tiniest shred of justice. Of sweet, sweet justice in the world. I don't know. I mean, I don't have a problem with people that are bigger. The best friend in question is actually way bigger than Vanessa is. I don't have a problem with that, because she's not an evil cunt. However, if you're going to be an evil person to me, you better believe I'm going to be that catty, petty person who just hones in on every single little thing, and it's gonna be magnified. So, just saying, I'm not above that. I'm human. So, anyways, yeah. It's suddenly abundantly clear why I'm single. So, anyway. But yes, that was the story of the first time and the worst time that I got catfished. Have any of you guys ever been catfished? Would you like to tell me the stories about when you got catfished, just so we can commiserate with one another in our catfish stories? Or, if you made your own story time video about being catfished, link it down below. I will totally watch that shit, just because this recently was brought back to the forefront of my memory, and I'm like, oh yeah, that sucked. But I could make a story time video out of it, so here it is. The only other silver lining I can get out of an entire clusterfuck mess of a relationship, if it could even be called that. It honestly should not even be called that. I also find it super, super telling that out of every ex I've ever had, I have typically gone through a period where I didn't talk to him for at least a few years after the breakup, just to mentally get myself in a better place again afterwards. But after that, we almost always end up friends again afterwards, and stay on good terms. Not to date ever again, strictly as friends. This goes for both genders, by the way. And it's just very interesting that she's the one outlier that it never happened with, and frankly, I'm kind of glad it never happened with, because I really don't want her in my life ever the hell again. So, you know, that's the thing. But anyways, I've been talking for half an hour straight. I've probably bored you guys silly. I probably forgot some key details of this whole mess. If there's some gap in this that you want more details on, I can give them. It's just mostly trying to, like, cram down a 4.5-year long thing into one video and trying to pick and choose which things were actually worth mentioning and which ones were kind of just bullcrap, not even worth my breath. I don't know. But anyways, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe, hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload. Leave comments down below. Again, if you have your own stories of similar, feel free to leave them down below, or even just dating horror stories, feel free to leave those down below too. Make sure you're following my social media accounts, are all listed down below, and if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. So anyway guys, till next time, bye bye.